What's up everyone, my name is Mark Plant and this is MPV Vlogs. Today we're going to make a cutting board. Hi everyone, like I said, my name is Mark Plant and this is MPV Vlogs. Thanks for coming in, I do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. If you hit that little bell icon right next to the subscribe button, you get a notification anytime I put up a new vlog, just like this one. If you're using a mobile device, make sure that notifications are allowed, otherwise you won't get the notification. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, any questions that you have, I'll help you out. So what we're going to do in this video here is the basic of woodworking projects. But they come out so nice, is a cutting board. And what I'm going to be doing is using multi-species on this cutting board. I'm going to be using some maple, I'm going to be using some cherry, some walnut, and even some purple heart for accent. When we get to the table here, I'll show you some of the wood that I have that I'm going to be using and my general idea on this cutting board. Alright, so we have the wood for the cutting board lined up here. But what we have here is we have some maple, this curly maple up here. This here is purple heart, this is walnut, and then I have a couple other pieces of various maple. This is cherry, and then I got an 8-foot board of cherry over to the side here. Let's see what we can make here. I think I can make a pretty board out of this. So let's get to it. All right, so we got 3 good boards here. They're all 3 now are right around 20 inches. Actually closer to 19 3/4. This one here is 20 inches. So those are good length. But what I need is, and trust me, I got plenty for 2 boards here, if not more. I'm gonna add some lighter wood accents, just to make it stand out, so. All right, here we go. I found a nice light piece of maple. I have to mill this puppy down. I think that'll be nice. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to have to pull out the table saw and rip these down so that I can make a design. Been having trouble with the table saw with the blade staying true, so let's see what I can do here. When using your table saw, glasses, ear protection, and in the room that I'm in, I'm going to need dust protection also. I bought a Cobalt table saw from Lowe's. Spend the extra money, buy a better table. I've had this for a little over a year right now, and I have to adjust it almost every time that I use it. So, like I said, if you're starting out and you want to buy a table saw, buy a good one. Spend the money on the table saw. It is well worth it. Again, I have limited room, so I don't have a huge table saw. This is just a contractor's table saw, and very inexpensive at that. But let's see how it cuts, make sure that everything is square, and let's get everything ripped down. Let's see what I got for boards. We'll line them up on the table and see how they look, see what needs to be joined. We'll go from there. Alright, so we've got all the boards lined up here. The main aspect on this also is I'm going to be burning a name onto it also. So I've got to line them up so that the colors are. So the colors are, the burning is most likely going to be on the maple. Not the maple. I keep on saying maple, I mean the cherry. I'll line those up like that. I think we'll do. There's a couple of accents up. Alright, I'm wasting film just staring at this, so I'm going to turn you off and let's see what else I come up with. Alright, so I have a couple of the boards, or the ripped boards here. They're not joined perfectly. I mean, I could probably squeeze them and they would be good enough, but I don't want them to be good enough. I'm making something, I want it to be perfect. So I'm going to have to throw them on the joiner and just take like a 32nd of an inch off of them so that they go up against each other really nice, because yeah, these won't look too nice. Not sure whether the camera will pick it up, but you can see this gap in here. Like I said, I can get them with the glue and the clamps, and I can pull them together, but if they pull apart, it's going to look horrible. So it just take me a second to run it across the joiner and give it a nice clean edge on each one. A couple of the other boards too. It's mainly the walnut. The other boards seem pretty good. Shouldn't have problems with those. So let's throw it on the joiner and let's get some good clean butts. Okay, as with any other power tool, this can be very dangerous. Under here, very sharp teeth running at a very high velocity. So all safety precautions taken. Don't want to get your fingers too close to it. Let's get the board. And the way that it basically works is this back fence is 90 degrees to the table. I believe that's called perpendicular. Yeah, that's perpendicular. Get my 8th grade geometry out here. So all I gotta do is run it across. I've got it set at actually less than a 30 seconds. So let's see how this works. All right, so nice smooth edges on them now. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. All right, let's start spreading some glue here. Glue up. I gotta get some clamps, so I gotta move this. Okay, board is glued up, clamped. Now all I gotta do is just wait for it to dry. All right, so this has been clamped up and the glue's been drying for a couple hours now. And start taking it off to see how it comes out. Or came out, comes out. Okay, what ends up happening, it's actually common from the squeeze out. My stabilizing the board's stuck. Usually can just, and they come right off. A quick hit. So I've got to clean this squeeze out off, and then this side I'm going to have to run through the planer, because as you can see, those are a little bit longer. Probably should have done, straighten them out before I did the glue up, but I had this scraper here. Works really well. We're going to run this through the planer. The only problem with my planer is I blow fuses. Well, trip the circuit, I should say, but we'll try it. Alright, so we're going to plane the raised parts of this board. I hope that it works. Pretty sure that it'll work. The only issue I have with this planer is I end up throwing circuits in the pot. I blow fuses, basically. Circuit breaker pops. So hopefully I can get this done without popping a circuit breaker. So let's try it. That ended up working good. I didn't pop a fuse. That's actually a really good thing. I got a little bit of sanding to do. Smoothing out. Did burn the wood a little bit. Concerned with that, I think I might have to change the blades, but I think it's pretty good. A nice 3/4 inch board. So next we go on is sanding. So I got it all planed down, the board all planed down nice. So I just need to smooth it out right now. A little bit of edge that the planer did not get. I think the design is really nice. I'm gonna have enough room on the cherry here to be able to burn the name in, so that should be good. So when I sand, I start with 40 grit, work my way up to 80, then to 160, 220, and then I wet the board down to raise the grain, and then I end with 320 grit. So it's a long process, but the board comes out smooth. It actually feels like plastic. So let's do some sanding. So we're just finished with 80 grit. Now what I need to do is I need to router off the edges, put a chamfer around the end. This one here is going to be a round over, so I got to go and get my router. I got a really nice round over on it now. Not too dramatic, but it's nice and subtle. So what I got to do is sand the round over as part of the board. At this point, we're about halfway done with the sanding process of the board. And what I'm going to do right now is called raising the grain. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak the board with some water. And what this is going to do is this is going to raise any laid down grain that's in here. And it's going to make the top of the board feel fuzzy. Right now this board is nice and smooth. The reason for doing that is as I go on I'll smooth it back out, but what that's going to prevent is once the board goes to its final destination, its customer, whoever I'm giving this to, when they wash it, if I don't raise the grain right now, when they wash it, it's going to get a fuzzy, weird feeling top. So by doing this, it prevents that from happening once the customer gets the board at the end. Is really nice to have, because there's nothing worse. When I'm done with this board, it's going to feel like you're rubbing a piece of metal or a piece of plastic. Even right now, it feels pretty close. But it'd be worse once they got it home and the first time they washed it, it feels like a peach. You have to do that with the board. So this is probably going to be, I'll have to let it sit overnight to dry before I can do any more sanding. So let's raise the grain on this board. The other good thing about raising the grain on the board is you can actually see what the final look of the board is going to be, how the colors will pop out. Trust me, when you see this, it's really cool. Alright, so let's raise the grain of the board. How everything just pops right now. Okay, and you have to do all sides of it. So, okay, flip it over, and we get to get the colors to pop again. So it's raising the grain of the board, and it really does. It saves the board, saves damage, and it makes you get a quick peek of what the board's actually going to look like. So I got to let this completely dry before I can do anything else. I'll be back to you guys as soon as this is dry. Alright, so the board's dried now, and if you run your hand over it, it feels fuzzy. And what that has done is it's brought up the grain. So now what I got to do is I got to sand it down, and what that'll prevent, like I said, is once the board is done and it's washed, the customer user, however you want to say it, will not get the board won't feel like a peach. So I'm going to do some more sanding here. And the next point after this is I'm going to be putting a name on the side over here. So I'll show you how I do that. So let me finish up the sand and I'll come back when I'm applying the name. I started doing this, just forgot to turn on the camera. What I've done, my wife did with a Cricut, was cut out a stencil, and then I am using Scorch Pen Pro markers. And basically what we do here, go back to 3rd grade and just color in the inside of the stencil that I had cut out. And the one good thing with these markers is they are food safe, so I don't have to worry about contaminating the board with them. There's a little tedious part here. I feel like I'm back in kindergarten coloring and try to stay inside the lines. Have to do also is once I get it all covered, I'll have to go back and make sure that it's even. Otherwise, when I apply the heat source, it'll basically burn uneven. So I've done this on a couple of boards now, and it really does come out nice, really nice. This is an alternative to a laser cutter, something like Forge Pro or something. It's my dream one day I'm going to get one of the Forge Pros, a laser cutter, because it'll be so much quicker. But with my budget, this works really well. And so we'll just go back and make sure everything's coated all the way to the edges. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is this template was cut on a Cricut, so it's just vinyl. All right, so the name is now on it. This part here I'm actually nervous about because anytime I've done this before I go outside. The only problem is we have an incredible rainstorm going on right now. So I'm gonna have to do this in here, and like I said, makes me a little nervous. Now let's shut this off. Make sure it's not near anything flammable. It ends up coming out pretty good. Does a really good job. I'm gonna let it cool off just for a second here. All right, so we're at my favorite part of making a cutting board, and it's finishing the board. And the first step that I do is I put about 3 or 4 coats of food grade mineral oil on the board. This makes the board pop. This is what the board will look like when it's finished. Once I'm done with the mineral oil, I put a couple of coats of wax on it, cutting board wax. That protects the wood, seals it, so water doesn't get in or anything like that. And then for the final step for this board, I'm going to be putting some feed on the bottom so that it's up off the countertop, so no damage to the back of the board that way. So let's put some mineral oil on this. It truly does. This board just pops right out with it. I just love the way the wood looks once it's coated in the oil. And once I buff it up with the wax, it's even nicer. Hey, so now what I gotta do is I gotta let this sit probably for about an hour, let the oil soak into the wood. And I'll have to come back and do another coat, and another coat, and another coat. So I'm happy with this board. This board came out really nice. I am really happy with the way this board looks oiled up. You have the purple heart here. We've got some curly maple here. This is cherry all over here, which I burned the name into. And then over here is the walnut. I love the walnut when it's oiled up. Once this, like I said, soaks in a little bit, and I put the wax on it, this board is, it's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to let this sit for about an hour. I'll come back down and check it out then. Alright, so the board is all oiled up now, and this came out good. So what I need to do is just protect the board from water and any of the vegetables or meats or anything that are cut on it. I gotta wax the board. So I use a wood wax. It's from Walrus Oil. Let's see if that goes into focus. There we go. You can use just about any board wax. I like the stuff. It works really well for me. So it's really easy to do. Just get a nice soft cloth, scoop some out, and it's basically like buffing a car. And putting a coat of wax on a car. Okay, spread it liberally over. Some people will melt the wax down in with the mineral oil. This works really good for me. So it gives the board a really nice shine. Like I said, this will protect the board from moisture, meat juices, vegetable juices, anything like that. I usually let it coat, let it sit for a second, make sure to get the sides. There we go. Got a beautiful shine on it now. I love the design with the different colored and types of wood. That came out pretty good. Other thing you need to do, make sure you get the back with the wax also. The water will go on all sides. Alright, so the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some feet on this. You can put them on, or you can't put them on, or don't put them on. It's up to you. I like putting them on. It raises the board up, gives it a little traction, because as you can see when I was buffing it, the board slides all over the place. So if you're cutting, the board might slide. So these are a good idea. So what I do, it's really basic. Get the tape measure. I go 1 inch in from either side here. So actually this is a bigger board, so I'm probably going to go 1.25 inches. You can see on the walnut it's tough. I really should have a white pencil. I've got to get one. Then what we do, get your drill. Just pre-drill the hole a little bit. Just make sure you don't go too far. Let's do that. I ended up buying these, these off of Amazon. Got like 100 of them. I'll put a link to them below. They're really cheap. Pop the screw in like so. Line it up with the hole that you just pre-drilled. You can either do it by hand or use a drill. Just gently put them in. So do that to all 4. There we go. Get it nice and level now. So that's it. The board's done. All right, everyone. That's it. Cutting board's all done. Really enjoyed this project. It's fairly quick to do. It's kind of fun. Just have to take your time. Make sure your cuts are straight. Make sure your joints are straight, and you get a good glue down. Make sure you put enough glue when you glue it up together. Always make sure you have plenty of squeeze out. Sand it down, make sure it's level. And that's it. That's how it's really simple to make. So thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down on the bottom. I really would appreciate it. If you're already a subscriber, just hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button. You'll get a notification anytime I put up a video. If you're using a mobile device, just make sure notifications are allowed. Otherwise, you're not going to get the notification. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you liked about the video, or let me know if there was any way I could have done anything different. With the woodworking, I am still learning. So, you know, I know there are many, many different ways to do everything. So, like I said, I'm learning. So, that's it. So, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys again real soon.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.